Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we had a little bit of a talk about TNA yesterday, and we had Slammiversary over the weekend. So I thought, hey, why not one more video about TNA? And let's talk about their women's division because this Knockouts division here has a lot of a lot of good stuff in it, but because they're focusing on having a NXT champion as your champion, there's a lot that needs to be changed here. So let's go through the roster and rate them and see where they should be. So I'm going to change trash because honestly, I don't think anybody's really that trash. And then we'll put the just as like that. I think that is kind of an area to go here. So let's go with Edwards is first. I forget exactly her first name. I know she's part of the system, I think, right? Most of them I know, but some of them I honestly just haven't seen them enough. She's kind of more of like a manager type, I would say. I have not really seen her, so I'm gonna have to put her down here because I'm not really sure. I guess I'll go D slash who because I really don't know. Then we get Ash by Elegance, the old Dana Brooke in WWE. Honestly, she hasn't really been bad. She's had some pretty decent character work. Her wrestling's been pretty decent. She was really going to get together in WWE at the very end of her run. She was really getting a push, and then all of a sudden got released. So it didn't quite work out for her. But I'd put her in C. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I think her and her tag team partner are kind of doing tag team stuff, but I don't think it's like the best in the world that they could easily have different champions. Next up is Danny Luna. Now, honestly, she's one of my more favorite wrestlers. I've seen a lot more of her matches outside of WWE than when she's in WWE. She's an enormous talent, and I think she has a lot of good stuff in here. Her and Jody Fred as Spitfire also look really good. They were Knockouts champions for the longest time. It felt like I could be wrong. It's one of those things where you feel like they had a huge reign, but it probably was like 2 months or something. But she's one of my favorites. I'm gonna definitely probably put her up in his world champion material. I think they could pull the trigger with Jace being in there, because obviously they need somebody. But I wouldn't be surprised if she's at least just focused in on more after this, because I think she just took an L to Tessa Blanchard for no reason, and obviously the build them up. But I just don't think that's the time to do it. Harley Hudson is actually not too bad. I've seen a couple of her TNA Explosion matches. She's definitely on the developmental side of things, it feels like, at least with them using her. I'd probably put her in C. I don't think she's necessarily bad, but I think she's definitely still working on it. Then we got Heather by Elegance. They're enjoyable together as a tag team, but I think that's where I'll put them. I haven't ever seen her wrestle on her own. I don't know if I would enjoy it as much. They kind of like almost like a little bit of comedy on top of their wrestling, and it's not necessarily bad, but I can't imagine it'd be fun to see on like a singles run. And then we got Indy Hartwell. I think having that victory over Tessa Blanchard is meaning that she's probably going to be propelled to the top of the roster. She had a really bad match against Tessa Blanchard, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she's, bad. I'd probably put her in B. I think she's definitely not good, but not bad. Like just kind of that middle person that is still working on their craft, and I think she's going to get a good push, but me personally probably wouldn't do that. Next up, you have Jody Fred, other half of Spitfire. I think she's been pretty solid. She's a good worker, so she's good to have in there to really put into different areas where you could use her in like different stuff. But they haven't really, so I don't know exactly what they're doing with her. I'd probably put her up in A. Because, if they had a mid card title, this would be the perfect thing to do. I do feel like TNA should have a women's mid card title, especially now that the main title is going to be gone. So if they do something like that, she would be the perfect candidate. Also Danny Luna, but like if you're going to use Luna, I'd rather use her at the top. Next up we have Killer Kelly. She is a just badass. I like Killer Kelly a lot. She has some really good in ring work. She has a very good aura around her too. She definitely, out of all the women here, I think would be the perfect person to dethrone Jace because she's just kind of badass like that. So I gotta put Killer Kelly up in S tier. Next up, we have is Kaylin King or Kylie King? It's K-I Lin. I don't even know how you say that. I have never seen a spelling of a name. I haven't seen much of her, so I'm gonna have to go put her down in D. I can't. I've seen a match, but I can't even think if I enjoyed it or not. So It makes it a little bit different. And then we got the old Xia Li. I don't exactly remember what her name is in TNA, so I don't want to say anything bad. Like, but I at least wanted to talk about it. She's was had a good push in the beginning, but I don't think she's had that much. I think she's pretty good in the ring. I just don't think they use her in the way that she wants to be. And her working as face doesn't work as much. I kind of liked how her last run in the WWE was, which is kind of being like almost like presence in the back. I think like it worked really well, but they never really did it. Next up is N by Elegance, kind of the third member. I have not seen much of her matches except for I think she stepped in once for a tag match, but I could be wrong. I'm gonna put her down in D. Then you got Marsha, obviously the best woman in your division right now, just ex to knockout champion. I think you still got to put her up there as a world material. I'm assuming that they took the title off of her for some reason, or that they're gonna do something else with her, but I don't know. I don't know why you do that. She's been doing pretty good with that title and beating Jordan Grace for it was a really big deal, and it's kind of not a thing anymore. I guess I don't know. Next up is Michaela Grace. I know I've seen her all the way since her days in Marigold when she teamed with Zeta Steel. She always was a little, green there. I think she's gotten a lot better, but she's still on her path. I'd probably put her in C. She's enjoyable, but I don't think I would say like she's, you know, worthy of like the higher echelon of TNA yet. I think she still needs some more time. Next up is Rosemary, kind of just I don't even know what I would say like staple. I mean, she's been around forever, so like it kind of that way. I think she's pretty solid. I'd put her in probably A. If there was a mid card title, she definitely would be a person to put in there. She has had some really solid matches. She goes in there and she does work. You're not gonna get a 5-star classic from her, but you're gonna have a good match and it's gonna be memorable with some of what she does. Then we have Steph DeLander. I think she's currently hurt, not really wrestling. I'll probably put her in B. I don't think she's good or bad because like she's kind of used in like a managerial way, but she has some wrestling chops. So I guess it's just kind of the way you want to put it. Then you got Tessa Blanchard. Honestly, she's just not worth all the stuff. I'd put her in D. The crowd doesn't like her, and she's gonna do the job for some people, which would be fine. But that's about all she should do. She should really never be in that title opportunity. And if she does, she should just get dominated. There's really no point of having her on that roster. It's just kind of stupid. Then we got Tasha Steele. I honestly haven't seen much of her wrestling. I know she works with Ollie's group, and she took a nasty bump for Cedric Alexander, and she sold that like 1,000,000%. So I would say if she can do that in any type of wrestling, I think it's definitely worth it. I'm gonna put her down in D just because I haven't seen much of her, so I can't say much. Then we have the Inspiration, which used to be the Iconics. Them separately would be a good idea too, with them as tag team. They should win these tag team titles soon. I know they just lost at Slammiversary, but if they really want to go all in on them, I think they should. Casey Lee and Billy Kay, which I think Billy Kay has a different name in this, are just decent wrestlers with good character work. So I would put them up there. I'd probably put them in A. I think they should be higher, but they just currently lost, so I don't really have high hopes that they're going to do much because that's not good. Then we have Victoria Crawford. I feel like she's just kind of got the short end of the stick because I kind of just have her stuck to Tessa Blanchard, like as like, oh wait, look, Tessa can't be racist because she's got a friend. Like this is kind of dumb the way that they booked her. I've not seen her wrestle more than like a tag match, and she didn't do much in it. I don't think it's necessary against her, but just me personally, I don't really know. And then we got Zaya Brookside. I think a lot of her stuff in the UK that I've seen is pretty solid. I do think she needs just a little bit more screen time. I don't know if it's kind of like maybe her mic work that kind of puts her back a little bit, but if they ever did like a women's X Division thing or any of that, I think she should be the number one contender or at least in that match because of what she does in the ring. So I'll put her up in A. I think it's worth it. But yeah, that's my TNA stuff. If you guys want more TNA videos, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so I know you guys are enjoying it. I wanted to go over this division because it's in complete turmoil with having Jace as the title holder. So I wanted to see what also you have. And you can see, look at, I have 7 women up here that easily, or 8 women because there's a tag team up there, that easily could be worked into that main event scene to make it better. And even the top 3 are just right now right this second could easily hold that belt, including one that just had the belt. So I don't know why they had to pick the NXT champion. But I guess we'll see what happens with it. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.